One of the things that I have noticed is the violence of the weather. Thunderstorms are much more violent, much windier, much more electricity. Hail is a real good indication that something is afoot. 25 years ago, if there was a hail event in New Hampshire, it would be newsworthy. Now every storm that passes through here has potential for hail. And we live on broken glass in the spring when the blueberries are sizing up and we're about ready to pick strawberries. And they say a frontal system's coming through, potential hail. I don't take it lightly anymore. I get prepared for the worst. The other thing we do, I think that reflects an acknowledgement of climate change is we do seem to be going more and more towards protected growing, high tunnel greenhouses per se. There is the benefit of season extension, and you capitalize on that, but the high tunnel and greenhouses are controlled environments to some degree, and so there's less disease issues within. If there's a hail event, you have protection, that kind of thing. And so you do consider, as time goes on, more and more. We started out with 3 or 4 greenhouses for the ornamentals, and all of a sudden there's 26 on this place. And a lot of that has to do with we're putting more of our crops under greenhouse cultivation. This year is an extreme drought for us. If you just walk across the street and look at the river right now, you'll see that you could literally walk across the Connecticut River to Vermont or wade without too much problem. It gets harder and harder for us to draw water from these sources. You would think that if you had the Connecticut River in your backyard, you would have ultimate water, and you don't. I kind of operate from the assumption that everything I'm doing is bad for the soils. Every time I put a plow down, every time I take the disc harrows out, every time I take the spader out, it doesn't matter. It's all, it's contrary to what would happen there in a natural ecosystem. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to ameliorate what I'm doing to the soils. And to that end, I think, we try to keep everything covered. We're getting, like right now, we're trying to get ready to get our winter cover crops on. And you'll see some open stuff like that out here that's very open now, but hopefully by 15th of September, it'll be green again. A lot of times we plant certain crops, permanent crops, crops that are going to be there for the season, the tomatoes and stuff, and we'll do white clover walkways. I have to mow it and maintain it, but I'm not burning up humus or organic content by running cultivators through it periodically. It gets tilled once a year, and that's it. I used to love recreational tillage. You get out there, you hit it with the bush hog in the fall, and then you take all that stover and you beat the shit out of it, and it looks great. The field looks pretty. But in reality, it's not good for the soil. So now, if I go in after a cornfield, I'll bush hog it, and bush hog it pretty high, but just enough so I'll spin winter rye on it, and then I'll just cuff it enough to chop and knock down the corn, and just kick a little dirt onto that winter rye, just half an inch to an inch of the soil, and it looks like the dickens, but the winter rye will catch, and I'm not ripping up a bunch of stuff. We're very fortunate. After 43 years and some amount of profitability, we have a wide array of tools. So we've got a lot of choices and a lot of options. The main thing to do is when something needs tillage, it's my mindset is like, how can I achieve the least amount of damage to soil structure? We try to reduce steel in the field as much as possible.